Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is a replay sent in by Cleverest Ruse. He's playing in his Tier 7 American battleship, the USS Colorado, and we're playing some standard battle here on the map Neighbors. So, finally, one of you guys has sent in a replay to our Gmail account at BIA, all caps, worldofwarships at gmail.com. And I gotta say that the first replay that one of you guys has sent in to us, this is a fantastic game in this mighty battleship, albeit it is very, it has very mixed reviews amongst the World of Warships population. And although it does have very powerful guns and pretty decent armor, and good AA, the Colorado is hampered by a very slow top speed, some very questionable dispersion, even for battleships, and just generally gets outclassed by the Japanese ships that it faces. Nagatos, for instance, much like Fusos against New Mexicos and Congos versus New Yorks, further on down in the tech tree, have the ability to overpen the bow armor from range with their equal caliber armament, and it makes fighting at mid to long ranges in this ship extremely difficult against Japanese ones. You certainly want to close the distance. However, in this replay, Cleverest Ruse here is going to be fighting against an all-American squad on the other team. There's going to be a New York, a couple of New Mexicos, and a Colorado that he'll have to deal with. And just let me tell you that this replay is one of the best Colorado ones that I've seen in a very, very long time. So he's heading over here to the island group on, at least for his team's spawn, at the eastern side of the map. And it's going to take a while to get there because, again, it is a Colorado. This was one of the last of the standard-type battleships built for the United States Navy during and after the First World War. And it has a top speed cap of around 21 and a half knots. Now, really quickly, one other thing. For all you guys that want to send in replays, please do so. I'm really glad that we finally got one to show, and we're going to certainly be making a new playlist where you guys send in your cool replays. And also, if you have any moments, please send them in. I'm thinking about doing a community highlights video where whatever cool clips you guys have, whether they're epic, funny, saddening, whatever the case may be, please send them in, and we'll certainly do something like that as well. Just wanted to get that out there. So he continues his trudging over here to the eastern side of the map. And at this point, he sees some long-range targets. There's a New Mexico that pops up. He does not have the hull upgrade yet. And he decides to get his scout plane up to try and get some long-range shots at the enemy New Mexico. And he shoots his first broadside salvo in succession from just over 20 kilometers. Now, as I said before, the Colorado's main guns are not very accurate at range. However, this first opening salvo will set the tone for the rest of the replay. A solid 5 out of 8 hits for just over 8,000 damage done. And I'm sure that New Mexico, that was the last thing that he was thinking of, getting hit from an American battleship that many times at this kind of range. These are certainly the ranges where Japanese battleships shine in the opening stages of engagements. He switches his fire now and his gaze over to the enemy New York. He shoots one shot blind, then he changes his fire to the enemy Colorado and shoots his remaining 3 guns at him. Now, getting your spotter plane, yeah, I believe I said scout earlier. Please pardon me, it is a spotter plane. Getting your spotter plane up at the beginning of the game in American battleships, you might as well go for it just to try. He gets a very solid hit, however, into that New York for just about 7,000 damage. The rest of the shells miss the Colorado. Getting your spotter plane up at the beginning of the game gets some cheap damage at long range, even though this thing has poor accuracy, and a lot of the American battleships mid-tier do have poor accuracy at range. Might as well try to get that cheap damage in at the beginning of the game, maybe land a citadel or get some really massive damage like he already did on that New Mexico, and it's based off of his health, he actually burned one of his damage controls, so he's influenced the game a slightly bit right there by getting that enemy battleship to do something really dumb. The Colorado shells come flying in at his position, and they land harmlessly off to his port side, a little bit long too. His aim was surely off there. At this point, Cleverest, I'll keep his name at that for the rest of the video, Cleverest is now looking for more shots on any battleship that is giving him a good target. And also, pardon me, I said that there were 2 New Mexicos. There is a New Mexico, and there is a Tier 6 Arizona. So you get the full slate of American mid-tier battleships here in this game for him to engage as he gets his next broadside out at that enemy Arizona at just over 18 kilometers. Gets a few hits, 4,000 damage done, and now he is sitting at 24,000 damage done here at the beginning of the game, and he has yet to take any in return. So he has made a very, very good trade here at the beginning of the game. He's now looking for shots on the enemy New York. He's got about 2 seconds left on his reload for his main armament. Looking for shots. Aiming. And he gets more out. Another full broadside. Now you're seeing here the dispersion on screen. It it looks okay, but this certainly isn't anything to write home about. And the shells are falling in here on the New York. However, he does get rewarded. 1 Citadel, 2 shells hit. 20,000 damage done to that enemy New York. Takes him from about 4/5 to about 2/5 health, just like that. And now the enemy Colorado that's in front of him at 12.4 kilometers as he's maneuvering slightly away from him is getting ready to continue to turn. He's looking for more shots, gets his front turret out, gets his third turret out, swinging his ship even more, and gets his last turret out as well. Shots are flying in on the Colorado, but you're going to see the armor here. Even though 16-inch shells, one hits the front part of the deck, does negligible damage. No damage, that is. The second one bounces, ricochets off the, looks like the turret there. So when Colorados get angled in like this, you can actually do surprisingly little damage even with these higher caliber shells. And at Tier 7, this is the first tier where you have access to 16-inch guns. But even so, Colorados are very tanky ships when you get into even these shorter range distances. If that was an enemy Nagato, he surely would have taken a lot more damage. More shells are on the way, and he actually gets some really good dispersion here. We'll see the shells are going to be impacting that Colorado about a 45-degree angle. Shells hitting the superstructure, 4,000, 8,000, and 5,300. Does a lot of damage, but then takes a massive hit from his starboard side, probably from the enemy New York or the New Mexico. However, a lot of it was light to moderate damage, so he's going to be able to get most of his health points back. So he takes a big hit, but that's okay. And he's up to 62,000 damage done so far. Cleverest with 20 hits and 1 Citadel. Looking for more shots here on the enemy New Mexico. Gets that rapid successive fire out on him. Shells are flying in on the target. 13.2 kilometers. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. All right. Decent damage done. About 6K there on the New Mexico. Even these American battleships giving you broadside at these sort of medium to close ranges, they don't take Citadels very often just because they have that all-or-nothing armor scheme which runs along the Citadel, whereas the fore and aft sections have hardly any armor whatsoever. Getting hit right in the mid portion generally doesn't do as much damage as one might think unless you're at those super close ranges where you could penetrate all the way through the armor. Gets yet another broadside on the enemy New Mexico. Shots falling in. 1 Citadel. There it is. 2 more shells, another overpen, and that is his first ship destroyed, up to 90,000 damage done, and he has only taken roughly 8,000 in return. So some very good trading here at the beginning of the game as the enemy New York shells fly harmlessly over him. Looking for more shots, got about 4 seconds left on the guns. Cleverest so far is doing very well in the Colorado, and he gets his next successive broadside out. Shells are flying in on the New York. Will he be able to get another enemy battleship sent to the bottom of the ocean? Unfortunately, the dispersion kills him a little bit there. He only does about 5,000 damage on the New York. But again, 5,000 damage is still 5,000 damage, so no harm, no foul. He's now getting into a position where he'll be able to shield himself from the enemy New York's fire. However, an enemy Mitsuki appears 5.8 kilometers in front of him, and then, oh dear, enemy Gnevny appears 4 kilometers in front of him. He is now turning. Hopefully, he's going to keep continuing his turn. He's now looking for some more shots. Broadside on the enemy Gnevny. Shells flying in. He gets a couple of overpins for 2,400 damage. Luckily for him, he's able to turn out of the way and get out of the path of the Gnevny's torpedoes, and then he turns back to the starboard side to try and get out of the way of the Mitsuki. The Mitsuki sends 1 narrow and 1 wide torpedo spread, and he's going to be able to easily dodge these enemy torpedoes that are coming in. So good situational awareness right there, recognizing the threat from the enemy destroyers and doing what American battleships are able to do at closer ranges, and that is being able to turn on a dime and get out of the way of the enemy metal fishes. He's now looking for a full broadside here on the enemy Arizona. Shells are flying in on the target. 8.2 kilometers away. There it is. 16,000 damage, another 5,700. He's got a high caliber, 1 Citadel, 1 shell penetrated, 3 overpens, 122,000 damage done, and we're just over 8 minutes into this contest. He's picked up a high caliber, and he's still only lost 8,000 of his health. He is doing a fantastic job at trading health with the enemy battleships, and he's just pushing these around. He's killed the New Mexico. He's forced the Arizona to turn away. The enemy New York is on perilously low health, largely thanks to his excellent shooting at the beginning of the game. The Gnevny and the Mitsuki make another appearance as they're both trying to charge him now, and he's also forced the enemy Colorado to turn away as well, so he's doing really good. Shells fly in on the enemy New York, get the kill. He does take a pretty substantial hit from the enemy Colorado, takes it definitely about 15,000 hit points, and now he's going to get hit from the rear turrets from the Arizona. However, you can see here that American all-or-nothing armor coming in handy there, and the shells barely register over 3,000 damage. He's trying to turn out of the way to get from the Gnevny's torpedoes. Does a good job at evading there. Unfortunately, the Mitsuki is going to send a salvo that is able to hit him once right next to the rearmost turret. Only does 9,400 damage, though. Hits that glorious torpedo belt armor that the ship has, and he does not get flooded from it. He continues to turn away, trying to get a shot on the Gnevny. However, he's not able to. Now he's looking for a shot on the Königsberg. The Königsberg gets taken out from his friendly, and now he has his sights set on the enemy Miyoko. 12.5 kilometers away, gets his full broadside out. Shells are flying in on the target. He's at 16,000 health. Takes a peer through the binoculars. Citadel, 15,000 damage done. Confederate picked up 144,000 damage done now to the enemy fleet, and holy crap, Cleverest, you are the man. Picking up some insane damage totals here just about halfway through the game. 144,000 damage done in 10 minutes is a fantastic damage per minute total. Gets his next 3/4 of a broadside out on the enemy Colorado. Shells are flying in on the target, Rodolfo Gaspar. Unfortunately, he turns just in time. Only takes about 4,000 damage from one shell hit. Holy crap, he's pushed right through the middle of the map and just turned all of these American battleships away. And although he has taken 2 substantial hits, other than that, he really hasn't taken much damage, except for, again, when he was forced to show a little bit more broadside than he'd like to. Enemy torpedoes are coming in. However, they run out of steam well before they reach him. The enemy Arizona is now about 12.8 kilometers away. The enemy Mitsuki is 8.4 kilometers in front of him. He's now trying to get himself around the village at the edge of the island to be able to get more shots into the enemy Arizona. He's getting his guns into play. The Arizona fires a full salvo of high explosive at him. He turns, gets out of the way in time. The shells fall well to the left of him. Shells falling in on the target. There we go. 6,000, 2,000 damage done. A solid 8.5k done. 157,000 damage done. 46 shell hits, 4 citadels, 3 ships destroyed. He gets his rear turret firing now at the enemy Arizona. The Mitsuki in front of him is coming under the very concentrated firepower from the friendly Atlanta. Unfortunately, the shell ricochets off the enemy Arizona. Now he's looking to get his other 3 turrets going on him. He decides instead, however, to turn in more slightly, get at a better angle and position from the enemy Arizona. And he's, also got to monitor the Colorado that's to his left, but he doesn't seem to be too worried about it right here at the moment. Now he's swinging his turrets into play against the enemy Arizona, looking for a shot. Decides not to. Now he sees the enemy Omaha, 10,000 health at 12.8 kilometers away. And basically this entire replay that you've seen so far, this mid-range combat and even getting in close is exactly the kind of thing that the Colorado excels with. Gets another Citadel, 9,700 damage done. That is his 5th Citadel and 4th ship sunk in the game. 166,000 damage taken down so far. Holy crap. This is some great stuff to watch. Tanks 1 high explosive shell from the Arizona for 1,600 damage. The enemy Colorado has stopped paying attention to him. Gets his 2 front guns out on the enemy Mitsuki. Shells are falling in on the target, and he manages to get 1 overpen right through the bow of the Mitsuki. Picks up Kraken unleashed. 5th ship destroyed in the game. Now he's looking for yet another shot here on the enemy Arizona with his rear turrets. Gets his rear turrets going. The dispersion looks okay. We'll see if the aim is true here. Almost. Just a little bit high. 7,400 damage taken down on him on that salvo, however. So very good stuff there. And then he tanks the 16-inch shells right there from the enemy Colorado. You see it hit at a very oblique angle and barely registered a scratch on his ship. Swings his forward guns now on the enemy Colorado. Gets his forward guns shooting. Swings even more. Gets his rear turrets into the party. 1 shell hits for 4,000. Gets 2 more shell hits, 5,146 damage done. He's up to 185,000 damage. The enemy Colorado gets taken care of, and that Arizona is now running away. Cleverest ruse with a fantastic game in the Colorado. That was just a perfect example of just imposing your will on the enemy team when you're top tier in your battleships, pushed right through the center of the map, made them feel the wrath at long range with a little bit of help from RNG, certainly, especially in this ship, but then got into that mid to close range where this thing just excels at and was able to give him hell. He's now looking for a cheeky shot here on the enemy Arizona. Gets his spotter planes up, shoots blindly as the Arizona comes around the corner, and the shells actually look pretty good. Did he aim right? Oh, just over the target. And the Minakaze is going in to finish off the enemy Arizona. He shakes his screen a little bit. I think he was a little upset that he didn't get the kill. But nonetheless, what a game in the Colorado. Taking a look now at the post-battle results, 366,000 credits earned, 5,320 total XP. got a Confederate, High Caliber, and Kraken Unleashed. 185,000 glorious points of damage dealt to the enemy fleet. 5 citadels, 54 target hits, 5 ships destroyed, and 7 target hits with the secondaries. Taking a look at the team score now, easily tops on the team with 2,287 base XP. Cleverest Ruse here showed you just exactly how to get what you can out of this ship. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, this ship really does struggle in Tier 8 and 9 games, but when you get these kind of matches where you can impose your will, he certainly did. 3,500 off the secondary, but 181,000 from the main battery. So, Cleverest Ruse, thank you very much for sending in this fantastic replay. And again, I advise all of you watching this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We're doing pretty good. We just went over 200 subscribers, and all of our videos are starting to get a lot more views. I'm enjoying to see the banter on the comment section. So please, please, please consider sending in your replays and moments to our channel, and we'll certainly help the community grow as a whole. So once again, Cleverest Ruse, thank you very much. Fantastic replay. This is the Sneaky Snake for Brothers in Arms World of Warships. Have a great day, guys.